All right, we are back with part 2 of Rockhounding. This is going to be the server um, tutorial. Now, most machines that have a server, for example, this one shows a server, it's optional. I should say all machines. Now, um, I'll be showing you how to use it and why you might want to. So generally speaking, it goes into one of these yellow sides. Obviously, you can just see where it goes in which direction. It will essentially allow you to run multiple recipes in parallel. Like for example, in the previous tutorial, we showed how to use comminution level. These both have comminution level 5 for iridium. Um, in the chemical extractor because we were getting this osmiridium shard, which comes from a native gauge, which is comminution level 5. So for example, let's assume we want to get iridium as well as platinum simultaneously from our uninspected minerals. So we'll pick a shard. For example, let's go with this one, 73% platinum. This is also native, so that makes for a poor example. So let's go with this one instead. Well, let's pick a different material because these are fairly closely tied. Let's say we want what's a good one? Titanium would be nice. Okay, so we're looking for titanium at 60, so rutile. That makes sense. So this is oxide, which is level 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the server to automatically switch between 4 and 5. And again, very confusing UI, but let's take it one step at a time. This little section here is how like the modifying server file section. So what we're going to do is communion level 4. We're going to say process 1 and repeat. Then we put it up here, combination level 4, process 1, and repeat. So now it's going to do 4 and 5. And what we'll do is we'll get a speed upgrade so we don't have to wait quite as long. So now if we put our uninspected mineral in, we can see that it's going to process. Wait, hold up a sec. Oh, forgot to turn the server on. So now that once we turn the server on, it'll switch between 4 and 5, oxide, and the the native. And you can see we had a little bit of byproduct there. And this also has, I wonder why I got borite. Interesting. I'm guessing that's just like a small extra byproduct, a little bit of extra. So you can see that the server can be useful for processing things like uninspected minerals, which have a high amount of possible outputs from a single material. It can also be used for different machines, such as the lab oven, which I'm not going to be going over today, obviously, or in this episode, I should say. But this produces a lot of different things. So for example, like let's say you want it to use it for hydrofluoric and hydrochloric, which both require sulfuric acid. You can have it flip-flop between these two. Now, this is not the entire multi-block, obviously, but you can see how it has a recycling thing here. What this means is that if the server is enabled, and you can see it here as well, and maybe I'll show you in this one. But what it does essentially is if the recipe that is flip-flopping between or running a certain amount of has different items, for example, like we saw in the in this one, this requires fluorite and this requires chlorite, it will move the input item into the output slot for the recipe it's not currently running. So it should be straightforward, but I'll show you in this really quick. So in this mod pack, I have included ore processing through rockhounding. So this would be a good way to showcase it. So let's say we do gold and we do iron. Now we're gonna get rid of these server files. Well, I guess we can just keep one. So what we're gonna do is change the communion level. Well, let's test. This is communion level 4 is correct. So we're gonna say filter an iron ore for 1 scheduled. Actually, let's do 2 scheduled at comminution level 4. And then it's repeatable, it's in process. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say do a gold at, we'll do 1 just to be different. And let's regenerate the file so it recognizes the gold ore. And there we go. So now it's going to cycle between iron and gold. Now these won't work because it needs to go both ways. So we'll use ender conduits instead. Item conduits. All right, so we're going to do extract and insert on both green. Now what it will do is we will turn this on, gold and iron, we'll turn this on, and then we'll put these in. Now what it's going to do is pull all the iron as much as it can until it produces 2. Then it will switch it out with the gold until it produces 1. Now this gold still has to cycle. As you can see, it's doing the thing it should. It's a little bit, the extract speed is not as fast as it could be, which is why you're seeing a little bit of delay here. But you can also see how will tick down the scheduled or the to do. So you can obviously set this to any amount, but this is a good way to cycle between what you need. Now this is probably a poor example because these both require the same comminution level. However, let's say we have a different ore, such as, let's see. We'll go with one of these end ores, which requires a comminution level of 15. So we can switch our, well, let's turn it off first. We'll just add another one. So let's say we do a tungsten ore at comminution level 15. And we'll say we'll do 8 of those at a time. There we go. We'll add a stack to the, so it's 15, 8 scheduled. We'll add a stack to here, and then we will turn this on. And it should, there we go. Iron is going to process 2, cycle it through to the gold, process 1, wait for that to pull, cycle it to, hold on, there we go, tungsten. Now, one other thing to note about the mineral sizer is the durability is consumed based on the comminution level of the recipe. So as you can see, this high comminution level is using the entirety of the gears, while these 3 are only used when you're doing 4. Anyway, that is the server. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.